At his peak, El Chapo is making $3 million a day, moving product hand to hand, all from the streets. Mike built a $1 million brand using the same strategy. He just swapped the drugs for the clothes. No social media, no ads, no investors. And today, Drake's wearing it, Steph Curry reps it, Chris Brown's rocking it, and this all started with $1,000, a trunk full of tees, and a kid with just a dream. And now, his brand's done millions of dollars in sales. So let's take a look inside of the mind of the man who turned street hustle into a fashion empire. It's good, brother. How you doing, brother?
Good.
What's up, Mike? How you feeling today, bro?
Good, man. Another day.
Another day, another dollar. Appreciate you letting me come through. Mike, so the people that don't know, what do you do?
I own a brand called Sabs, and I also consult and do apparel production for other clothing brands and other, businesses. So,
And across all your brands, I know we're just starting. How much revenue do you do?
in the last 4 or 5 years, we probably did over 10 million.
10 million, sheesh.
Collective brands that I do production for.
And what do you guys do on a yearly basis?
A couple million a year.
Couple million a year?
Yeah.
Sheesh, there we go.
A little modest. It's cool.
A little modest. That's
Pays the
solid.
bills.
Only over 10% of businesses do over 7 figures of revenue.
Yeah, and I think I started this brand with $1,000.
You started this brand with $1,000. Yo, you got a pretty sweet pad too. Can we get a little tour?
Yeah. So this is basically, we call it HQ.
HQ.
Right? So we design everything on our computers, and we work with manufacturers, our vendors across overseas, and then local production. We house our product here. We ship everything out of here. We hold meetings.
This is like the warehouse.
Right, yeah, it's HQ.
And it's got a fucking basketball hoop.
Yeah.
You hoop?
I hoop. I used to hoop. I
You get a
can't,
bugger
with the
off?
jacket, I don't know.
Bang.
Little bang. When I got this place almost 10 years ago, it was empty. We didn't have enough product to fill this place, and I was scared. Like, man, I think we bit off more than we could chew, But now we're busting out
But
the
that
seams.
pressure's good though.
Yeah,
Right? Like
for
when,
sure.
when you know you gotta just make it happen, you're like, fuck, how am I gonna pay this bill? You
100%.
just become so resourceful as a human being.
Yep.
This looks pretty sweet, by the way.
Yeah, we built it out of a container, man. Like I said, we found a way. 3 brands live out of this small space.
Wow.
And so Collect Select's office is here, and then my kids. This is a family business. You know what I'm
Family
saying? That's my
business.
son. So I actually talked him into quitting college.
Oh, he quit college.
Yeah.
You dropped out. Trying to build like your dad. You didn't go to college. I know that
Nah,
for a
I'm
fact.
gonna drop out, yeah.
So what's your thoughts on college nowadays? You think people should go or shouldn't go?
It's less important. Most entrepreneurs I know that have succeeded were all college dropouts.
Mark Zuckerberg went to college. Bill Gates went to college. Steve Jobs went to college.
Right.
Granted, they all dropped out.
Right.
Elon Musk went to college.
Yeah.
Mark Cuban. So I think that's like the path. It's like go. If you don't know what you're gonna do, go to college.
Yeah.
Go figure shit out, but go try things.
Right.
Go learn. Go network.
100%. He went for a couple years. He learned the things I felt were critical.
Yep.
Multitasking, deadlines,
Lines.
all that. And networking.
Yeah, meeting
You know what I'm
people.
saying? You could be going to class with the next billionaire CEOs. You
don't know.
You never know.
You got something up there too?
Yeah, so that used to be my office space.
Oh wow, this is sweet.
We
Wow,
could-
this
we
is
could-
all
we could
started
hold
from a
these.
container. All in all, how much did it cost to put this whole thing together?
Less than 20K.
Less than 20K.
Yeah, you know.
Crazy.
And it created a space where we can vibe out and take meetings and make plays with other people.
And no, you have like a really interesting start, even how you started the business, right?
Yeah. I was in the tech world. I worked for a company called Logitech. My boy got me a job there as a security guard, and I was 19. I was making friends with people in the company while I was a security guard.
Yeah.
And I finessed my way into getting into the marketing department.
Oh,
Yeah.
no way.
So found out my girl was pregnant.
And how'd you feel? Were you like scared?
I
Were you
was
nervous?
scared, bro.
You're like, fuck, I'm about to have a kid at 20 years old.
100%. I was spooked. Like I didn't, I wasn't ready for none of that.
Okay.
And so I just kept soaking game up and adding responsibilities. I was like, oh, I could take that on. And I was learning on the fly.
Yeah.
Then I got offered a full-time job after like 10 months.
Wow.
They gave me a salary, but I didn't have my degree, so my salary was low.
Oh,
you know what I
really?
mean?
Like around what, like
Nothing, man. $35,000.
36? Oh, that's like 3K a month.
But I got a full-time job, and at the time, bro, it helped. It wasn't until one of my homies told me, because she was in PR, and she was like, yeah, the person at Microsoft that does what you do makes 6 figures.
Oh, wow.
I think when I left there, I was making $65,000 after 10 years working there, a year.
So while you were there, you were hustling on the side.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit more about that? What do you mean that? Like
During that time, Manny Pacquiao was hitting the scene. So this is a famous boxer.
Yep.
And I remember I wanted to do shirts because no one was doing shirts. I was always dabbling in fashion and screen printing and all that with my boy who became my partner. Fast forward to 2008, I hit him with the idea. I was like, yo, I want to do these shirts. And I feel
while
like
you're working at Logitech.
I feel like we can make some dough on the side. Like, we know a bunch of people that are gonna get behind this dude. This Filipino boxer, he's
And here's the
exploding on the scene, and we know a gang of people that are gonna be fans of this guy.
Yep.
So I basically replicated how drug dealers really start their business.
So in 2008, Mike went to his boy Brandon with an idea. Start selling custom Manny Pacquiao t-shirts. Manny Pacquiao is blowing up as a global boxing underdog. Mike saw a lane and a path nobody else did. He knew the Bay Area would rally behind him, and instead of selling to the stores, he hit the streets, literally. He'd wholesale the shirts to his friends for 12 bucks, they'd flip them for 20 to 25, and pocket the profit. Like a dealer, building his crew, Mike turned his community into a sales engine where everyone could win. In the first fight, they sold out of 2,000 t-shirts and made them over 16 grand. And just like that, a side hustle was born from the pavement. Were you hyper? Like,
I was hyped because it was extra money. You know, it ain't nothing to quit my job on, but I'm like, man, I got something here. And then we continue to go hard. So 2 or 3 more fights, we did 20, 30,000 shirts every time. So I stacked all the money because I didn't know, you know, I wanted to quit my job. Yeah. My wife knew what was up. She supported me all the way through.
Really?
Yeah. When we met, I had nothing. I was broke. My credit was bad. The straight hood story of getting with a girl and your credit's bad and you got to use her credit. That's literally how it was when we first got together. I go hard for the people I care about. My relationships have carried me all these years in my business. So I've never been a leech. I've never been like, what could I get from that person? Every time I come to a relationship, so what could I offer to the table that's of value to them so they respect me? And so they, you know what I'm saying? So we build, you know?
Exactly. Love that.
Yeah, man.
So after stacking cash from the Manny Pacquiao hustle, which is well over 100K, Mike took a calculated risk and finally left his 9 to 5. And for everyone else out there that wants to leave their job and start a business, do what Mike did. Take a calculated risk, save some money so you have some leverage to start your business. So you're not worried about funds 24/7. And I think there's 2 points of entrepreneurship I've been. This is like your survival. We're doing everything and anything.
Right.
Like I have like 6 different services that I can offer to anybody just to collect the cash.
Yep.
And then you have, okay, now we made enough money. Let's figure out, let's do one thing and double down on it. And now let's focus on a long-term vision.
Right.
I think there's always a blend, especially in the beginning. It's just like, let's just fucking make money.
Right.
And then as I started making it, I was like, okay, cool. Like this is a business. Now I need to work smarter.
Yeah.
I don't need to hustle no more. I need to think more like a businessman.
Right.
Like it's that hustler mentality to like thinking, okay, like what's the long-term vision? What are we actually going to create? Instead of Mike diving straight into his own brand, he just got scrappy. He linked up with his boy, the same partner from the Manny Pacquiao grind. And together they started a company called Mojo Labs. They did everything: design, consulting, custom drops, and even offered their services to other big brands out there like Huff, all still running through the same street selling playbook, hustling in bulk, testing what hit and what didn't. And it wasn't glamorous, but it was profitable. And Mike was able to generate over 6K a month, stacking skills and relationships. And ironically, his old company even hired him back as a consultant, paying him 3 times more to do a fraction of the work. Mike wasn't just surviving anymore, he was thriving. He was learning how to play the game like a real businessman. Wow, so you're making 6 figures a year after you start the hustle. Oh, there we go.
Off the rip.
Right. But then where does like Sabs, like where does your own brand start from?
So
this, right?
we're doing Mojo Labs together for about 4 years. And I remember everything stems from basketball. I played basketball in high school. I played basketball in college. Sabs started through that.
Yep.
Right? Because I wanted to show a couple of my younger homies like, yo, we could do a brand and make it dope.
Yep.
Right? I remember we were playing in rec leagues and I named the team, my team that I was sponsoring, Sabs.
What does Sabs stand for?
It's the slang term savage. I named it that. I designed the logo and I put it on our jerseys while we're playing in these rec leagues. And everybody, when we come to the gym, they're like, oh, what brand is that? That's dope. And so I was like, man, maybe we can. So everything that I learned from back in the day, I was like, maybe we could sell apparel to pay for our league, to pay for when we travel, go to Vegas and play, in LA and play. I told all my teammates and my boys, I was like, hey, bro, let's put it out for pre-order. Let's do these zip hoodies. We'll put the logo. They can pick the color like a little Nike ID style. The first week, bro, we sold, I think it was like 400 hoodies or something crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. But once I hit that, I was like, man, this could be an actual brand.
Because you saw something, there's something there.
Right.
You have proof of concept.
Yes.
And it's sold to the streets.
Yes.
This is not digital. This is not on an e-commerce store.
Yeah.
This is your first clothing brand.
It was my second. I started a clothing brand when I was 19. It was terrible.
And then when did you make your first 100K from this?
I want to say probably year 2.
Year 2. You made 100K.
Probably year 2.
Just people selling it out the trunk.
Yeah. So we started growing. We had people wearing our stuff in LA. So one of the homies was like, yo, I'm wearing your stuff in LA. And the game hit me. He was like, yo, what's that? And he was like, oh, it's my homie from the Bay. You got a brand.
Yes, you heard it right. The Game, the rapper. One of Mike's homies was wearing Sabs down in LA. The game saw it and asked, yo, what brand is that? So Mike did what any hustler would do. He packed him a custom box full of his best pieces and sent it straight to the game's team. Weeks went by, no post, no shout out, no response. Mike thought it was a wrap until one random Saturday morning. Boom! The game posts a photo wearing Sabs tank, tags Mike. Instagram explodes over 10,000 followers in an hour, all during the Instagram early days. And the crazy unlucky twist, the same exact top the game posted a pic with was actually sold out. So Mike hit up his printer, gave his word with confidence that the campaign would do huge numbers if quickly restocked. The printer trusted him and they relaunched it. And by the end of the weekend, Mike made over $20,000. This wasn't just a celebrity cosign. This was a signal. Sabs had real heat and Mike had a clear vision for success.
And that kind of helped me get, to that next level up.
Yeah. So like 16, 17, 18, 19, you were just going straight direct to consumer.
Yeah, and I think we were probably generating
or
like $300K a year.
Okay.
And it was cool. That paid the bills, bro. I'm happy with that.
Yep.
Getting blanks and printing them here is cool. But the next level is cut and sew.
Like right here.
Yeah.
Sewing this on.
Making garments from scratch.
In 2008, Mike went to a clothing convention called Magic, a massive event where brands and manufacturers from all over the world meet to make deals. At first, it felt hopeless. The big name manufacturers wanted massive orders, 1,000 pieces per color, months in advance. Mike didn't have that type of money or audience, so he pivoted. He started walking around smaller booths that most people ignored. The ones with the dusty samples and zero hype, but with actual good material. But once again, Mike saw potential where no one else saw it. He asked one of the small teams, if I send you one of my patterns, my materials, and ideas, can you take a chance with me? And lucky for him, they agreed with a minimum of 100 units ordered, just enough for Mike to test and build. The partnership became a secret weapon, and it was exactly with that manufacturer that Mike made his first big hit, a custom jacket made from scratch with premium details and stitching. And once it sold out, Mike knew exactly what he had. A hit product, just like a hit song. Make one, play it, and get paid in royalties.
So I really took my time with that first one and I created a hit. I got this hit, I played it a few times, I did a few jobs with my own brand, with other brands. They were selling out. Then I was like, I gotta make more hits.
After the jacket, Mike went hunting for hit number 2. This time, it was shorts. And not just any shorts, but luxury basketball shorts with zipper pockets. Inspired by $400 Don C NBA shorts. And Mike thought to himself, what if we hit it with the same quality, but just made it accessible? So he teamed up with his boys, Alex and Christian, now running super successful brands like Who Cares and Collect and Select. And they got to work and built what would become a street staple, Sabs hoop shorts. At first, it was small drops, 50 to 100 units at a time to just test the market. But everything changed when Ben Baller rocked a pair to ComplexCon and shouted them out on his podcast. From that moment, it was chaos. Drops were selling out in 10 minutes and twice a week. And Mike and his guys were smart. They noticed that people loved those short mock-ups. So with each drop, they made a similar model as collabs, so all the brands rode the wave and grew together.
We lived through that dropping, selling out in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We were celebrating every time we sold out. We would buy a bottle of tequila and
Clase Azul.
and we kill the bottle to celebrate.
Yeah.
Dude, it got to the point we were dropping twice a week or every week selling out. We're like, yo, we gotta stop. We're becoming like we can't drink this much.
So this is like 2020, right? This is pre-COVID?
2020, 2021 is when it really started cracking.
And you did that through the Bay. Like that's like, I think 90% of your customer base is the Bay Area, right?
Yeah.
Just for Sabs.
Yep.
How did people in the Bay find out about your stuff?
In the beginning, it was word of mouth. And word of mouth is still the most powerful and most influential form of marketing.
Agreed.
Right? Like you see an ad about a restaurant, you might go.
But if you tell
I'm
me about
like,
it,
Ajay, bro, you have to go to this restaurant, bro. You're going within the next couple weeks. Like
every time.
That's kind of how it started.
If I want to start a clothing brand, I want good material, I want it to look good. What's the process I need to go through? Can you walk me through step by step before I launch?
Before we even start there, I'd ask you how are you going to be different from everybody else out there? Once I feel like, man, he's about it. He's ready to grind. Once that's done, then I'm like, all right, well, to start, let's see what your brand visuals look like. I always recommend brands that start with t-shirts.
Start with t-shirts.
Start simple. because you have to have a proof of concept of your brand. You have to see if people are really feeling your brand. Let your design speak and see if your design sells first. Start your brand and make sure your brand is something that's people can identify with, even if it's just a black and white tee.
Yeah.
And once you get the following, you build it, you create that engagement and build the loyalty and build the interest when you start dropping this after. That's how I would do it.
So you could just increase the LTV, have them buy something simple first, and then, because the cut and sew gets more complicated.
Right.
And I always have a famous quote I love to say, simple scales, fancy fails. What's the biggest mistake most people make when they're starting off a clothing brand?
I think one of the common mistakes is thinking your brand is bigger than it actually is.
So not being conservative, not being real. Like, to be an entrepreneur, you got to be a little delusional.
Yeah, you have to have that confidence, but it's not an overconfidence.
Yeah.
You have to have that self-belief, but at the end of the day, the numbers don't lie. Pre-order is a good strategy if you can condition your customers to wait a couple weeks.
And this strategy is used by some of the biggest names in the game. Travis Scott, Kanye West, and even the Nelk Boys. Drop culture, pre-orders, waiting weeks for a product. People are totally fine with it. Why? Because the market was conditioned. So when Mike tells customers, yo, this is a pre-order, you'll get it in 2 to 3 weeks, they're not shocked. They're like, bet. That's still faster than Travis Scott's merch. But here's the twist. Mike didn't just copy the formula, he innovated it. At one point, he stopped doing pre-orders completely, and instead, he kept product on hand and shipped orders the same day. Customers were tagging him faster than Amazon Prime because packages arrived just in a few hours. One person ordered a product at 8 p.m. and had their package at 10 a.m. the next morning. Whether it's drops or rapid delivery, it's all about understanding expectations and then exceeding them. So what are some of the best strategies that you know that are relevant right now that other e-commerce brand owners could use?
One of the strategies that we're implementing now that my son actually put me on.
Yeah.
He came to me with a service called ManyChat.
Oh, yes. ManyChat for Instagram?
Yes.
Yes.
So you can interact with automatic responses, right? Oh, and then we set up the service to where automatically gives them a personal message. Yo, you know, thanks for your interest in this. Here's a discount code and the direct link to this product that's only available through this. So that, to me, is kind of the next step.
Yeah, but I don't see a lot of e-commerce brands using it.
Right.
But I see a lot of people that sell like courses and stuff.
Yep.
Use the fuck out of it.
Right.
Yeah. You've done a lot actually for your customers. When I walked in, you're talking about you're helping a customer right now.
Right.
That recently, rest in peace, they passed away.
Yeah.
But you're making literally a special drop just for them.
Yeah. We have a design that we've done that it basically says familia over everything.
Familia over everything.
He passed away, so
Rest in peace.
The funds that we generate from this, we're gonna donate back to his wife and his kids.
Man, this is real shit.
But this is the stuff that's gratifying. You know what I mean? You know, I like nice things, of course, but there's an extent to that. I'm not.
You do got some nice things. Can we see your car?
Yeah.
Let's go check it out. Yeah,
I love
this is a
car.
sweet car, by the way.
This is the RS e-tron GT, I think 2024. But the first 10 years at Sabs, bro, I had a minivan.
A minivan.
Bro, my boys that I grew up with was clowning me because like, oh, soccer dad. We ain't going out in the soccer dad van. Jay-Z said, if you can't buy it 3 times, you can't afford it.
My mentality's like 5 to 10.
Right. That's my custom floral print that my boy wrapped. Shout out O2 Creation. So we did that. I got I got the logos embossed on the side.
So fire. You wanna go get some food?
Yeah.
Recently, you came to a pretty crazy realization where you thought maybe taking his time away from building and retiring was gonna be key.
It got to the point I was not working. I was probably working an hour a week, literally 1 to 2 hours a week. It was just everything was kind of flowing. But during that 2 years when I felt like, oh, I reached the mountaintop, bro, I felt empty. It was weird, like everyone's with me, my kids are good, my wife is good, our relationship's solid, but I felt empty. I was like, why do I feel any kind of sadness right now? And after reflecting, dude, it was about the hustle, the thrill of the hunt. Thinking of an idea, getting with my homies, putting the play together, selling it through. But now this like reset of my mind, like I set myself a goal to beat my best year by 3-4x.
Oh, let's get it.
But it's not even about making the money. It's everything that comes along with that journey. That's what I want to experience.
Yeah.
Chopping it up with you and seeing your journey, bro, it's exciting. That's dope.
Still got a long way to go.
Yeah, but you know, you're going to keep grinding, and I'm not going to be shocked when it's in the news that you're worth $100 million just because you got the grind like that and you're a student of the game. Those are the elements of success, bro. You're focused, you're willing to do the stuff that no one else wants to do. You're willing to go through it. That's what's dope when I get to interact with you. You got that, bro. You know what I mean?
That, bro.
Yeah, no.
Like, what advice would you give to other people, you know, coming up then? Like the younger entrepreneurs in their 20s?
I always believe that you got to live You got to live your business. You have to be so engaged in it, you can't turn it off. Anyone that I know that has succeeded in any of the entrepreneurial businesses that people I know, they fully committed and they didn't have a plan B. The other part of the advice is you have to be a calculated risk taker. You got to take risk, but you can't be stupid with the risk.
Yep. And that's what I love about your story, is what you did is you actually saved up money before you quit.
That was a calculated risk.
A calculated, well thought out.
It wasn't a plan B. It was, I'm going all in, but I got to be ready for the low parts of the roller coaster.
Yep. And you should really listen to Mike's advice. Over the years, Mike's brands like Who Cares and Sabs haven't just hit the streets. They've hit the biggest names in the game. We're talking Steph Curry, Drake, Chris Brown, and even Draymond Green. And Steph Curry, he's worn the gear multiple times, including the custom hoodie Mike made just for him. And one of the wildest moments, Steph's on the championship parade float, surrounded by his family, and right under the trophy was Mike's hoodie. So what's the secret to getting your gear to superstars? It's not Facebook ads, and it's not luck. It comes with network. Real relationships built over time by bringing value first. That's how you go from a local brand to a national empire. How have you built those relationships along the way?
Being a resource to other people. Like all the guys that have connected us with these celebrities or athletes, we've built with them first. It's all about taking care of the network.
The relationships are like one of the most important things. So how do you manage these hundreds of people that you know to be able to maintain like strong relationships with people? Is it hard?
That's a great question. I mean, there's times where I feel inspired or I think about somebody and then I'll just pick up the phone and call. Many people have made good impressions with me when they call me just to see how I'm doing. Because a lot of the times in our business, people are calling you because they want something. And so because I feel that, I'm conscious about whenever someone pops in my mind, I'll give them a call or give them a text. One thing I do is the moment I think about somebody,
I do make those random phone calls to my boys like, dog, it's fucking 1 o'clock, I'm checking in.
That's huge to me.
It's big.
Right? Especially when I'm preaching relationships, everything.
Yeah,
if you're not taking care of it,
it's gonna die one day.
Right. You got to put effort towards it, you know?
So when people get comfortable, what would you recommend people should do to get uncomfortable, to like really put their back against the wall?
You set goals that are going to be really hard to attain. That's the part that you were talking about being a little delusional. And the delusion is setting a goal that most people would think is not in your reach. Because guess what? You set a goal up here, but you get here and you fail to reach that goal, but everybody's standard goal is here.
Yeah.
So when they see you here, in their mind, that man, he succeeded way past what the standard is. But when you set it up here and you hit here, you still, you know what I mean?
You still like, fuck, I need to keep going.
Yes, that's where the delusion is. I'm gonna try to hit 20 million this year, 30 million this year.
Yeah, but you make 5, 10. You're like, oh shit, I got halfway there.
I make 2.
Yeah.
I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the other thing. Why are you letting people that's going to compete with you, why are you giving them game?
Yeah.
I'm like, you think like that because you don't have confidence in your own product. Mm-hmm. You don't have confidence in your own hustle. I can be in a room full of sharks and swim, bro. I can have 10 of my homies selling to the same customer and I still feel confident that I'm going to get mine. If you don't have that confidence, you can't be an entrepreneur. And if someone comes better than me, hats off to them. But I'm not gonna hold somebody back because that's weak. That's why I offer my services to all my homies that are doing their own brands. We all have very similar customer bases, but that's fine because they see the connection. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, Hoop Shorts, oh, they doing it? Oh, Collect Select, oh, and Who Cares? Oh, and Seb. So they gotta be connected some way.
Yep.
Oh, and they did a collab, there's a connection there. Mm-hmm. That's a unit. And everybody that comes in there, they're part of that.
Last words for the young entrepreneurs out there watching.
If you really want to get it, you got to go all in and believe in what you got going on. Understand it's going to be a lot of hard work. Be ready for the scary hours. Be ready to persevere. And when you're down to do all that and you thug it out, there's a good chance that you'll succeed.
So the next 5 years, we come back, where do we expect everything to be?
Hopefully, we own this spot. We own all the units in this building. We have 10 new brands that we're helping develop. You know, at the end of the day, I just want to keep cooking. As long as I'm breathing, man, that's what I'm going to be trying to do in my professional career.
Any chances of retirement again?
Never. I love what I do, so I'm not even working now. More importantly than the money, man, I think in the next 10 years, as long as we enjoy the journey, that's more important.
All right, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming out.
All right, guys. Like and subscribe. Peace.